So in Blender, we have like different places and different stages and so many uh, fields and views and tabs to basically create, animate your rigs, your models, and everything. And even without scripting for until you get advanced, there will be a lot of things you need to understand about the buttons here. They look complicated, but it's really, really straightforward. So step one, do you see this thing here? This is going to be like your backpack. Like whatever you do in your project or into your current window will be stored over here. So you can name it as your backpack or collection, but backpack would be easier for you. Like, just like when you go to school, you add the books in an order, like English, workbook, the notes. It's similar like that. If you're building a big model, there are going to be a lot of things like a parent and child. About parents and child, this is how it works. For example, this is a tree branch. So let's say the whole tree branch itself is a project that you're making. And that project might have multiple branches to it, like this. Cool. And each of these branches are customizable. For example, you can customize these branches. But when you're going to see it as a project window, all these tiny branches and those green leaves are basically connected to the main branch, right? So this is going to be the parent. This is going to be the child. This is going to be the child, and there can be many of them. What about if you go much more further? You can also have child as a parent if they have another child within it. And then this becomes the parent and that's become the child. So we have, do you understand the hierarchy? This becomes the child, that becomes the parent, and it goes inside. So that's how the building model works. For example, let's say we are designing a kind of a building structure. So this whole model itself is like, say, it's a big building we're creating, and or let's say, yeah, we got a house, we got a lighthouse here, and there's water around. We got some cool design. I'm not that good in designing, anyways. So now in this water house, the whole model, which is just what's created here, is the parent. Okay. Or you can create, it's like the whole model itself, and this the base part you have. Now, what about if you're going in detail? So if you're going in detail, you can create the staircase inside. So the person can actually visit on the top side of it. And that's child. And that's how usually everything is built. Now, going in much more detail, this little bit staircase here is itself going to be a separate model you're creating. This is the staircase. That's going to be the parent, and each ladder steps are going to be the child's. Good? So do you understand about how the modeling process are working? Now, so far, we understand that this is your backpack. So I'm just going to say, let's keep it BP, backpack. And this window here is, properties window, which would let you specifically change things. So if you don't want to manage things, you can just play with the numbers. So this is going to be your properties, property window. Now here are multiple fields on top. And this helps us to view, edit, change, because we have keyframe, object view, rendered view, and so much more, and the animations and else. Now, by default, we'll be using, this is the solid view, and solid view, you just see the object and not the colors and anything. You can always change the views over here. But, as a developer, designer, you're not supposed to be using mouse button a lot. We're going to be joining two things at once. We're going to be joining the mouse. So if you're using an optical mouse, which is like this, cursor, which is going to act as for your control. And then you're going to be having out the left arrow key. Oh, sorry, the right arrow key and the left arrow key. And we're going to be using a keyboard for the shortcut keys. Good?
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
No.
All right. Now, once you open Blender, you have this project. Make sure you're able to move freely. And if you hold Shift and the cursor key, you can also move the camera this way. Okay. Now you don't have number key, number lock. So you're going to click on Y, only not negative Y, just Y to get the front view. Can you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me once you're done. Keep
Okay.
talking with me.
I'm done with it.
Okay, great. Next, we need to pull this thing up. So I'm going to select this cube, click on the shift, oh, not shift, G, and then click on Z to go on the Z axis up. Let's move it up to 2.5 M. Okay, like 2.5 M here. Can you do it? Create, we need to design it like a little bit slimmer. This is going to be acting as the body. So this step is going to be your main part, or I would say the parent of most of the things. And this is going to act as the body of the character. What are we going to do next into it? We're going to create some arms around, some legs, which will be identical to the other side. And we're going to make it animate. Okay. After we fill colors in. Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's kind of very big. Like if I just change my view or just click on the mouse cursor and move to the right side, it's a cube box. I want it to be very much slimmer. So I'm going to select on the box, press the S key. You're going to press the S key and then plus Y to scale on Y axis. How? Select by clicking on the left key. Always select items by pressing the left mouse button. So you're going to select over here by left key and then S and Y together. So you can scale on the Y axis. Can you do it?
Mm-hmm.
So scale it until this reaches to 0.400. But that's too big. So 0.6. That's good. Can you do it? And note down the keys, whatever the keys you're learning over here, into your notes. So you will remember it for a longer time. Once done, tell me. I over here. And then you get the front view. Can you do it?
Okay. Yeah, then.
Now it's time to create arms. So what I'm going to do is select the part. Again, you're going to click on the left key. Left. After you click on the left key, you're going to press Shift plus D to duplicate. Okay, so I'm going to click over here and say Shift and D. I duplicated the part. And now I can just simply drag and drop somewhere over here. Do you see it created another part into the hierarchy, the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
We will be later on naming it. For now, you don't need to worry about it. So can you just duplicate the duplicated part here? This is the duplicated part we created. Done?
Yeah.
Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to scale it. It's not looking more like an arm. So again, you're going to press on S, and using the X axis, let's scale it. Or let's say X and Z. I'm going to scale it somewhere over here. And also, if you look to the other side, I'm going to move here. It's too big for the arms, so scale it on the Y too to make it slimmer. I think around much more slim. So scale Y to 0.2. Let's see, too slim. 0.3, but use it using the scaling tool. I'm doing it here to get it an exact thing. For the X, I would say 0.9. Or 0.1 is good, but Z would be 0.3 as well. Around 0.3 to be specific. All right, coming to the front view, it looks like this. No, I'm gonna keep it 0.35. Okay, that looks good. And then once you scale it and it looks like an arm, use the move tool to just simply attach it over here. Whoop, right. Now how can we make it for the other sides? We actually made it for one side, right? We got the leg and the arm. Now, I want to just basically duplicate. Instead of working really hard, all I have to do is Blender gives you this opportunity to work much more freely and easily. We want this thing to happen here too. How can we do that? There's a very simple trick to do it. All you have to do is click on the arm and then go to, do you see there is like a kind of a tool, the design
Mhm.
tool, modifiers. And from the modifiers, I'm going to open modifier. And then from there, I'm going to select mirror. Once I select mirror, it tells me mirror object to. So click on this paint tiny eyedropper, select to the main object. That's your main cube and done. Cool.
Mhm.
I'll do it one more time for the leg and you can see. So modifiers, add modifier, mirror, mirror object to the cube and done. How simple that was, right?
Yeah.
Give it a try.